We will be YouTube live. Yeah, I'll be here like guest of honor.
It was in the parking lot. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be YouTube live. Yeah, I'll be here like guest of honor.
We'll delay there.
Yeah, we'll- Okay. Do you know why it's so like delayed? I guess we don't need to actually be watching. Yes, but it's taping, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just don't wanna hear us talking. So you can minimize it. Here we go.
Morning, everybody. We will begin shortly. We are waiting for one more board member to arrive. We'll get started. Great. Good morning again, everyone. I'd like to call our meeting to order of the Sexual Offender Risk Review Board. It is 10:06, August 8th. I'd like to welcome all of our board members along with our guests. Our chair, Frank Mullis, is not available today, so I am filling in for him as interim vice chair. So I'll be running the meeting today. Tracy, can we get a roll call?
Yes. Mindy Ackerman,
Present.
Giselle Brown,
Present.
Jerry Bruce,
Present.
James Chafin,
Present.
Matthew Connell,
Present.
Robbie Frederick,
Present.
Katie Robert could not be here today, Jim Morton.
Present.
As we know, Frank Mullis cannot be here today, Bert Reeves,
Present.
Lori Rozier,
Present.
and Gerard Amor could not be here today, and Mandy Ballinger could not be here today. That gives us 9 present, which is a quorum in addition to we have recusals.
Thank you. I'm going to read our mission statement. Our purpose and mission is protecting Georgia's children and communities at large by identifying convicted sexual offenders that present the greatest risk of sexually reoffending. It is the board's responsibility to determine the likelihood that a sexual offender will engage in another crime against a victim who is a minor or a dangerous sexual offense. Assessments will be used by SORB to determine the risk level of the offenders. Offenders will be classified as a level 1, level 2, or sexually dangerous predator. Okay, have all members received the minutes and had an opportunity to review the minutes? Any questions, any concerns? Can I get a motion to adopt the minutes?
Motion that we adopt the July minute.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We can move on to the agenda of reports of officers and standing committees. I don't believe we have any committees, active committees. Any unfinished business to discuss? Any new business? Tracy, the executive director's report.
Actually, let's back up to the new business. Even though everybody sent in their, who they would like to be chair and vice chair, we do still need to vote on that. I think it was unanimous for Frank Mullis for chair and Mindy Ackerman for vice chair, but we do need an official vote. So.
Do you need a motion?
Yes.
I move that we accept the nomination of Frank Mullis as chair and Mindy Ackerman as vice chair. Can we do them at the same time?
And I think so, yes, since there's a lot of.
Second.
Say all in favor.
Second,
Robbie.
Robbie. Deborah, do we need to do individually or can she do all in favor? Or she can do all. Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Congratulations.
Thank you. Now to the executive director report.
Yes, so we've had a lot going on, as you all know, from the emails I've sent, but I'm gonna start with the best thing first, which Katie and I did a presentation for PAC and it went really, really good. We had an hour and people actually mentioned it was not long enough because they really enjoyed our presentation and they felt that they got a lot out of it. So we also talked to a lot of people. It was a pretty filled room, which was really nice as well. So hopefully we'll be going back again in the near future. We got really good feedback from everybody about how good the presentation went. And I think it was really successful. So I really enjoyed it. It was great. The next thing, we had a judicial review hearing. I was gonna give feedback, but it was continued. So we don't have to worry about that. The next thing, I'm gonna start with the SORB office move and come back to the new hires, just because it all kind of plays together to some degree. So you had all received the email that I received very last minute notice about them vacating the agricultural building. And everything has gone very, very quickly with Capitol Hill and all the changes. So the building behind us here, which is the 1 and 7 building, and then the GBA building, which is right here, they're knocking all that down. The egg building is gonna remain standing, thankfully. That will take, and then they're gonna build the new Cobb building there and a parking deck where all that building stuff is. That'll take about 2 years, and then they're gonna gut this building and redo this building. It's take 3 to 5 years. So we will not be coming back to this building. So I was a little worried about that, where we might end up, and Jerry was kind of sending me an email for any assistance that I might need. Fortunately, Initially, so we're trying to figure out what we're gonna do in the short term, and they didn't know what short term looked like. So I'm just gonna tell you the most recent that's happened literally as of yesterday, because we have to be out of the building tomorrow. So it went from having to the end of August to, yeah, when can you get out? And I said, please let me have our board meeting and do all that. And so keeping our fingers crossed, everything goes well there. So yesterday, I finally heard that we will have, DBHED is going to assist us in having one cubicle desk for a person to be there, because we have to have somebody that can receive orders for signature. So we did hire a admin person, and she's aware that she'll be working daily in the office. And so we will have her over there. Destiny will be training her. And so she'll be there, and we'll also get our mail there and that kind of stuff. So we've already put in place a change of address for that temporary time. The office space we'll be getting permanently will be on the balcony floor in the towers. It looks like a great space. I'm gonna need to do some build out. It'll become available January 1st, but because of the build out, I would anticipate being more like February. So just kind of give you an idea about that. It's a great space. I think everybody I like the location of it, because I was a little worried about that. So location seems really great. You know, they redid the towers, so it looks really nice over there. So it's actually on the same floor as Parts and Pearl. It's right there. So once that happens, I can get the build out, then we can transition over there. In the meantime, everybody else will be teleworking. I will be doing traveling, and my upper management will be doing traveling meetings when we feel a need to do that, to bring everybody together, since it's gonna be 6 months before we're gonna be able to be in a place. I have asked DBHD for the possibility of having time in a conference or training room, because Marcus is still training new people. He's currently, we had trained, I believe it was 14 people originally that were hired 7-1. I hired 6 more people for his training, 8-1, August 1st. That doesn't include the other positions. I've added like administrative assistant that starts on the 16th. And then for September 1st, I believe it is, will be at least 4 people hired for that time. And I'm talking about clinical evaluators, predominantly part-time clinical evaluators. So we're really moving on getting people hired to get these cases started, which is very exciting. Problem is now Marcus is not gonna have a place to train them in person, which we really need at least for 2 weeks. So I have asked DBHE to consider if they have the ability for us to use their space during that training period, or we'll try to figure something out. Otherwise, it'll be all virtual. So we're still, since we haven't had much time to figure it out, we're still in the process of figuring that out. Marcus has been awesome in trying to manage all this training that we got going on in the moving, and staff has been wonderful in helping us with getting everything prepared within a week to move. So with the new hires, again, so I just said a whole bunch of people that we're hiring. They are here today, and I'm not going to introduce them during the board meeting, but everybody will be able to interact after the meeting. But we have such a great crew. So I was really nervous about the hiring process when I received the amount of money that we received, very, very gratefully, but also scared to be able to get people who are qualified to be able to do this very, very difficult job. And we have been, I'm blessed with the people that we've gotten who have applied and who've accepted their positions. And so I'm really excited. And I think once they get in place, we're just gonna have a really awesome team. So I'm really excited about that. So I can tell you that we're going in a new place with Sorb, and I've also have some upper management now, which I'm really excited about. So I have people who can do some supervision, and that's gonna be great. And so the restructuring, we're kind of in the process of restructuring. So it's gonna be really awesome. So I'm really excited. And other than the fact that the next board meeting, which of course will be virtual only, will be September 12th. That was the last thing I had, unless anybody has any questions, because everything's been so quick. I've sent emails when I've been able to. Our new address will be 200 Piedmont Avenue, which again is on the west side of the West Tower. So just so people are aware of that. And that is already posted. Destiny already posted on our website.
Great, thank you. We can move on to the review of cases. Has everyone had a chance to review all cases? Okay. Tracy, can you please explain the leveling process?
Yeah, so we receive new sex offender cases every month. We receive them from pardons and parole for those being paroled. We receive them from the GBI for those moving from another state. We receive them from the clerk of court of those who are newly prosecuted. And we receive them from DOC for those who will be released within the next year. And then we get court orders from the judges. And those go in our database. Our investigators take the name and they collect the criminal history to know what offenses to collect, which includes not just sex offenses, but any offense that might be related to risk for sexual recidivism. They collect all that information that then goes to the evaluators. They review that information, summarize it in a report. They also review and summarize prison behavior. They review and summarize Department of Community Supervision behavior as well as treatment related information. They score the risk assessments, do a recommendation of classification to the board. It is then uploaded for board members to read throughout the month before the board meeting. And then the cases are voted today, and if they're a 2 or greater, they then will have other options after they receive their letter.
Okay, thank you. We have 15 level 1 cases. It does look like we have 1 recusal, which is Matthews.
Matthews recused from 21000.
Are there any questions, comments, or concerns about the level 1 cases?
I think this is the one that mine was in the category of.
It's level 2. I think it's a level. Oh, no, it was a level 1. Sorry, it's. Thank you, Robbie. Yes.
So my questions were,
So we're talking about so Robbie had wanted to have a discussion about 24723. And the board received that report to review it for that discussion.
my concerns were, first of all, law enforcement. I'm gonna be more particular about this one, but him being from the law enforcement, there's lots of stuff missing here. It says he took some polygraphs, can't find them. No treatment. And I was just curious why we were able to put a 1 on somebody where there's lots and lots of unknowns. The polygraph he did say that he took was since your last polygraph, so that doesn't address the incident. It says that he actually denied the sexual intercourse. He admitted touching. He admitted that was wrong. So there was just a lot of blanks in there that I was curious about.
I try to figure out why, my questions, and again, I feel like my questions usually go out of the bounds of what we're supposed to be doing, but my question is, why was he only charged from the beginning with sexual assault of an inmate or person in custody as opposed to rape? Because what is described is a clear rape. And I also want to know, did he go to trial or did he plead guilty? But I almost would be interested to see the police reports, the indictment, because if you take the victim's testimony or her allegations at face value, and this is nothing less than a rape. And do we have any, there's a question, do we have any folks that we monitor that have been convicted? And I know he wasn't convicted of rape, so I'm being very careful, but my question is there anyone convicted of rape that is a level 1? Which is obviously, rape is considered one of the 7 deadly sins, right? Do we have under our purview anybody in the state of Georgia who's been convicted of rape that is a level 1?
With the actual conviction of rape versus them pleading it
Right,
down.
yeah, yes, the actual conviction of rape.
I would have to look, but I would not be surprised to say that, yes, considering just various circumstances. I mean, if they've been with me for a really long time, or they have only that, when I say only that offense, I don't need to minimize. I just mean if it's been a long time since, or the complete treatment, or there's no indication that they have a extended history of that type of behavior. So there's a pattern that we can see that this person has adjusted their lifestyle. So it's possible. I wouldn't know for sure.
And, I'm looking at in the summary on page 3. It bifurcates, it says he's been compliant, it's missed the A and the I it says he's been compliant, but then he goes on to say that he hasn't done the sex offender treatment. And I would argue that that's not compliant. So I think if he's on multiple occasions or he refused, and I get it, he's on probation now, and for reasons that baffle me, he doesn't have any special conditions of probation that involve, I mean, that blows my mind considering the facts, charges, whatnot, but when he was under, when he was told that you have to do this, he didn't do it. And so that's a lack of compliance to me. And I understand how, after years of doing this now, I understand how this can fall into a 2 and a 1 in our risk assessment, but I also believe that his conduct post release from prison has been less than ideal and shouldn't be rewarded. But I want to know more. If it's proper, I'd love to see the police reports. I'd love to see the indictment. I'd love to know if it was a guilty plea or a trial. Sometimes people can be indicted. There may have, this is just a hypothetical. This has nothing to do with this guy's case. But sometimes someone may be indicted. They may negotiate a charge, he might have been going to be charged with rape, but then they negotiated for whatever reason, if they'll plead guilty, we'll indict him for this. And if there was, I don't know if charges here, if that indicates what the police charge him with or what the district attorney's office charges him with. But those are things that I would like to know too. I think that having more information would be, I feel like we say this every time we talk about a case, and I know we can't get all the information on every case, but I think with this case, having more information would be helpful.
It would show in the report if he pled down, right? More than likely.
So usually they put the charges that are on the sentencing sheet and they verify those charges and if anything's been pled down from those original charges.
I did have the same question as Bert, and I was gonna ask from a law enforcement perspective, did he receive that charge versus rape because of the setting that the offense took place in and because of the role he was in?
It could have been that or the credibility of the victim.
Okay.
Right.
And so the district attorney will sometimes say, okay, that's gonna be a hard case to win, but he's gonna plead guilty to this.
Got it.
So,
We also typically, if it's a jury trial, unless I'm speaking out of turn, but what I recall is we have very few that go to jury, but when they do, we usually put that in the conviction disposition.
I had to answer Bert's, just partly answer and respond to one question Bert had was, are there rapists that are level 1s? I did take a quick look. There's none on this board list. They're convicted of rape. When I read it, it looks like rape. And Robbie, I can't understand what type of test that was. I don't know if you know, because the man passed the test.
that was a maintenance. Since your last polygraph, did you do anything bad?
Okay, so that wasn't, he needs an instant offense poly. Also, rapists are, according to Dr. Beagle, notoriously treatment resistant from our recent training. So he hasn't done treatment. I don't know, honestly, how beneficial it would be. But if he's not a rapist, but I don't know, I would want to learn more about the recidivism.
And again, this is
Stats.
probably, I'm talking in hypotheticals that don't have anything to do with this person. But if somebody didn't do something, they usually don't plead to something that involves going an 8-year prison sentence. Like if someone, because again, victim's credibility has a lot to do with these kind of cases and how they're resolved. But it is unusual. It's not impossible. It happens, but it's unusual for someone to plead even a lesser charge if it's going to involve that much prison time if they maintain that it didn't happen. And another thing I don't believe we have any information here is there was a rape kit done on the victim and what that by the time that this actually happened, we certainly had 2014, yeah. Rape kits were out there. They weren't filled or done to the degree that they are today, but
Typically, if there's physical evidence, the evaluator will put it, if they have access to that, or, documents, they'll add that to the report. Yeah, and that's not to say that one wasn't even done, so if it wasn't done, we don't know if one's done and there's physical evidence, it's in there. If it's not done, we don't know that it's not done or done.
can we pull this and get as much information as possible? And here we are again. I'm struggling with the thing that I always struggle with is being a lawyer versus being a board member on here and what the proper criteria is for us to consider. But I think this warrants a closer look.
I agree with you, Robbie. I mean, there is a lot that is unknown.
Yes, ma'am.
It's kind of like our previous discussions. We don't have the information that we need.
I mean, in just reviewing it and what information we have, what normally stands out is we often see under criminal history charges of what they were convicted of, and then usually no process of charges that they weren't. We don't have that, which would indicate to me there is no charging instrument of anything other than these charges. Second part, and that could be for a couple of reasons. It could be that whoever took out the warrants didn't pursue any other charges. It could be a direct indictment that only pursued these charges. We don't know the answer to that, and it doesn't really, for me, doesn't really change the calculus of it. What I see is from the summary is the victim gives information, some of which she says she records. And then the offender is interviewed and he starts answering questions about that. And he makes admissions that corroborate some of what she says. And at that point, from what I'm seeing, is that creates the evidence that you need to convict on the counts that are in the criminal history. And that may have been the decision that charging decision that was made. We can take the victim's word and we can take the defendant's word, and we now have enough to prove it because he's admitted to these part of the allegations, although not to all allegations. So I think we can get that information, but I think that's what we're gonna see is that they chose to go with he's admitted to these crimes in these admissions, and that's why he's being sentenced the way he is. So to me, it looks like it's probably wasn't a trial, probably does look like a plea, but we could get to the bottom of that if we need to. But I do have the same concerns that we've talked about as post conviction, post sentence, while on parole, what did he do? And I have concerns. I think the same concerns that everyone else is sharing, because part of this is not just, part of this is we were looking at rehabilitation issues and what information do we have there? It's a little bit, seems a little bit thin or lacking.
Can I get a motion to pull this case, number 24723 for further review?
So moved.
Second.
Share around.
Or do you want me to do, should I do individual for this or?
For the rest of the level ones?
No, just for the 247, 2 3 people.
Oh, yeah.
Just put on, no, I won't be here to do the follow-up. One thing that stood out to me also was the links that he went to cover up his actions, you know, I mean, that was very calculated. My head, I'm thinking, we've done this before. It's not your first time, but we don't have that. But that's something to kind of keep in mind. It's true.
Okay, so you have to do a roll call. So they're gonna answer this
Any more concerns or any more discussion
on this case.
on this particular case?
Okay, so to hold this case, we've had the 2 motions. Mindy,
Aye.
Giselle Brown.
Aye.
Jerry Bruce.
Aye.
James Chapin.
Aye.
Matthew Connolly.
Aye.
Robbie Frederick.
Aye.
Jim Martin.
Aye.
Bert Reeves.
Aye.
Lori Rozier.
Aye.
Okay, we can hold that case.
Okay, so for the rest of level 1 cases, just to make sure, any others that need to be discussed, any other concerns or questions on the level 1 cases? Okay, can I get a motion to adopt the level 1 cases?
So moved.
Second.
Was it Sheriff Brown?
Yeah. Can I get a roll call?
Yes. Mindy,
Aye.
Sheriff Brown.
Aye.
Jerry.
Aye.
James.
Aye.
Matthew.
Aye.
Robbie.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Bert.
Aye.
Lori.
Aye.
And of course, Matthew was recused on 2100, and that still passes despite his recusal.
All right, moving on to the level 2 cases. We have 19 level 2 cases with several recusals. Matthew has 3.
I'll read those out.
Okay.
So Matthew's recused on 19146, 20522, and 22480. Frank is also recused on 2 cases, but he is not here, so that's not especially.
Do any board members have any questions, comments, or concerns about the level 2 cases?
Yeah, I'd like us to see if we can pull out 313331. A lot of stuff going on in this case. Back to it, the first thing, this was a offender who was a juvenile at the time of these offenses. And these offenses allegedly started when it's 8 years old, in a really long time. There are some things that we don't have any polygraph information on instances, at least from the sentence he received. Look, I guess he was sentenced under SB 401 as an adult, but we would apparently do this for time as a remedial as a minor. So there's a lot of those things going on here, and also his initial assessments probably expired because he's over 18 now. So I just like us to pull those off and come back to this. So I make a motion.
Us, second.
Okay, so looking at pulling 31331 for having a little bit more time on this case, given that it is a significant juvenile case. Mindy. Aye. Sheriff Brown.
Aye.
Jerry.
Aye.
James. Matthew.
Aye.
Robbie.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Bert.
Aye.
Lori.
Aye.
And Dustin, did you get who?
No, I didn't get the first and second.
Who was the first and second motion on that pulling?
I seconded it, Jerry.
Jerry.
was first.
I'm sorry?
Jerry made the motion.
Motion, I seconded it.
Okay.
Thank you. So that case will be pulled.
Any other cases? Can I get a motion to adopt the level 2 cases?
Second.
Jerry, Robbie.
Jerry, Rob.
Yeah.
Okay. Mindy.
Aye.
Sheriff Brown.
Aye.
Jerry.
Aye.
James.
Aye.
Matthew, other than your recusals?
Aye.
Robbie,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Bert,
Aye.
Lori,
Aye.
they all pass. And we are removing 31331.
Okay. Moving on to the sexually dangerous predator cases, we have 15 SDP cases, with 2 recusals.
Matthew has 1 recusal, which is 25221, and Frank had a recusal 27492, but that does not affect voting.
Do any members have any questions, concerns, or comments about our sexually dangerous predator cases? Can I get a motion to adopt?
I move we accept.
Is that Chair Brown?
Chair.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Mindy,
who's the first?
It was Robbie.
and second was Sheriff Brown. Okay, Mindy, any questions or concerns about any of the SDPs?
No, my vote is aye.
Sheriff Brown, any questions or concerns about any of the SDPs?
No questions, no concern, my vote is aye.
Jerry, any questions or concerns about any of the SDPs?
No, my vote is aye.
James, any questions or concerns about any of the SDPs?
No, and my vote is aye.
Matthew, any questions or concerns about any of the SDPs?
No, my vote's fine.
Robbie, any questions or concerns about any of the SDPs?
No questions, aye.
Jim, any questions or concerns about any of the SDPs?
No questions, aye.
Bert, any questions or concerns about any of the SDPs?
No question, aye.
Lori, any questions or concerns about any of the SDPs?
No, my vote is aye.
They pass, including those recused.
All right, and last, our reevaluation cases. We have 8 reevaluation cases with 1 recusal.
And that was Matthew 25218.
Do any members have any questions, comments, or concerns about our reevaluation cases? Can I get a motion to adopt the reevaluation cases?
So moved.
Second.
So Sheriff Brown was first and Robbie was second. Okay. Mindy, any questions or concerns about any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Sheriff Brown, any questions or concerns about the reeval cases?
No concern, my vote is aye.
Jerry, any questions or concerns about any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
James, any questions or concerns about any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Matthew, any questions or concerns about the reeval cases other than your 1 recusal?
No, my vote is aye.
Robbie, any questions or concerns about any of the reeval cases?
Questions, aye.
Jim, any questions or concerns about any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
Bert, any questions or concerns about any of the reeval cases?
Nope, my vote is aye.
And Lori, any questions or concerns about any of the reeval cases?
No, my vote is aye.
They all pass, including the recused case.
So we leveled 57 cases this month.
Right, so I believe it would be 50, I think we recused.
Oh, we took off the
52, so it's 57, so 55.
55.
How about you? Make a comment about that.
And we are all here in person today to celebrate Matthew's, did I read it correctly, 10 years?
Yes.
10 years serving on the board. And we would like to, on behalf of the board, and thank you very much. I hate to see you go.
Yeah, hate to leave.
Yes.
Yes, we've been very fortunate, 10 years. So we're going to, everybody will be celebrating that following the board meeting. So, but I appreciate all the work that you've done for SOAR because you've been here almost as long as I have. Not quite, but almost.
Almost.
So, I appreciate you.
It's been an honor to be part of this.
Thank you. Okay, and we can. Adjourn, okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Right, meeting adjourned 10:41. Thank you, everyone.
I just didn't want anybody to start talking.
She's like.
No, take it on.
Okay, before, everybody wants to, You can sit down.
No.
Okay, so I want everybody to be able, we are having lunch that comes at what time, Destiny?
Is here.
Oh, let's, look at that.